Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jeff. So hey, I'm gonna share something right now that's very important, okay? And you guys have heard this real estate adage before, but I'm gonna tell you why location really, really matters when you're buying real estate. All right guys, so here it is. This is something I've been wanting to share with you for months, but it's the first opportunity I had to kind of sit, pull some data, and be able to share some specifics with you guys that I think would kind of help illustrate the point and drive home the point that I'm making in regards to kind of where you invest your real estate. Now, where you invest in real estate, I should say. So I'll use Seattle and what we call the East Side is the example today. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with the Seattle area, you have Seattle that sits in between basically the Puget Sound and the Pacific Ocean and a huge lake just east of Seattle called Lake Washington. And that lake actually connects into South Lake Union, or what we call Lake Union, which then connects through the Ballard Locks to the Puget Sound. So, but Seattle's basically everything kind of north of the airport and south of a county called Snohomish County. And then we have what we call the East Side. Okay, so the East Side is connected to Seattle by two floating bridges, the 520 bridge and the I-90 bridge. And I'm going to use these two examples today to kind of share something with you guys that I think is really important. So oftentimes you've heard about, you know, why you should focus on location with real estate. Okay, now location can mean a number of different things. It can mean a corner lot with a big oak tree and a picket fence in the middle of a neighborhood, or it can be kind of a sub-market like a town or a region, okay? Or when you're talking about location, there's a lot of different ways to drive that home. But the old real estate adage about being location is really kind of stood up in the course of time to be very, very important. One of the most important things you can focus on. So what I'm gonna do is share three different examples. Seattle, Bellevue, and Kirkland, okay? That general location and how real estate basically is so hyper-local, okay? When people talk about investing in Seattle, that can mean a lot of different things. We're talking about Seattle proper and then the surrounding areas. Now, I'm gonna use a 5-year data set to kind of drive a point home and why location matters. If you invested in Seattle versus Bellevue or Kirkland, your investment on average, okay, hasn't performed nearly as well in the last 5 years, okay? And there's a lot of things in play with that. Like, you know, for some people in Seattle, the first thing they would say, oh, well, it's politics or it's homeless or whatever. And those things do make a difference. Schools in particular makes a huge difference. But in this particular instance, I'm just gonna share how the same dollar spent in Seattle would have behaved much differently in Bellevue and Kirkland, and it might speak to the momentum that the East Side has and why so many people are moving over to that part of the world. So I pulled some stats. I want to read this to you specifically. 5 years ago, so dating back to basically November of 2016, at that time, the median sales price, okay, so half the homes are priced above this number and half the homes are priced below this number, right? Or sold above and below this number. The median sales price in Seattle was $550,000, okay? And so in 5 years leading up to today, when I pulled the data, it went to $637,000. So from 550 to 837. Well, what does that mean? Okay, basically it's a 52% increase in the median sales price. So it definitely goes from lower left to upper right. But here's what's interesting. If you invested that same money in Bellevue, now Bellevue sits literally 15 minutes across the lake. And you would have heard about Bellevue because Facebook and Microsoft and a whole bunch of other companies have invested on that side of the pond and have made it very, very popular. It has tremendous schools, some of the best school districts in the country. I think Bellevue's been ranked very, very high. Locally, it's one of the best school districts we have in the state of Washington. So if you invested, 5 years ago, okay, November 2016 in Bellevue, the median sales price then was $777,000. Okay, Well, that's grown to 1.55 million. So that reflects 101% increase in median sales price. So in theory, if you're just comparing Seattle and Bellevue, it's a 52% increase versus 101% increase. Now, Kirkland is another neighborhood, and it's just north of Bellevue. It basically shares a border with Bellevue. So in Kirkland, this isn't insane. 5 years ago, the median sales price was $619,000, and that's grown to 1.313 million. So that's reflective of about 114% increase. So what does this all mean? Why does this matter? The reason I'm bringing it up, if some of you guys are still with me watching and listening to this video, is that location matters, right? But it's also very hyper-local. So you can live in the Seattle area, make a sound investment, okay? But if you did your research and you saw some of this momentum that the East Side had you invested on the East Side versus Seattle, you would have nearly doubled that investment made in Seattle. Okay, so you go from a 52% increase median to 114 in Kirkland. Like, that's absurd. Now, that's not average, okay? That's not like, that doesn't mean that house A would have performed the same as house B, but it gives you a general context. And I'm having conversations with clients about this all the time. When you consider moving to, a different part of your community that has better schools, maybe safer, less crime, more upside, more momentum, more growth, your good investment can turn into a great investment. And what I wanted to do is just kind of share some of those things with you guys today, so you think thoughtfully and critically about not just where you're investing, but getting finite in that investment and really focusing on the little details that can really help your portfolio in the long term. And it's also an affordability thing, right? So I get that. The point is still the same. Wherever you're investing, you have to pay attention to those small details. And hopefully you have an advisor, someone in the real estate world that's helping you kind of go through those different determinations. I've had lots of clients over the last 5 to 10 years where we're having this same debate, and I have to paint the picture for them on where they might invest and the upsides to certain parts of the region without getting them to shy away from a particular neighborhood. Our goal as real estate brokers is not to steer people away from any given neighborhood or any different part of the world. It's to coach them and show them the data and let them decide for themselves. So I hope this was worth it for you guys to sit through that and listen to that. It's a long way of getting to the point, but I did want to share some specifics and give you guys an upper hand. So when you make your next investment, hopefully this is something that you can kind of tap into. If you liked the video, do me a favor, hit the like button for me or subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Wishing you guys a very, very happy holidays. We're almost to 2022. We're getting close. I wish you guys all the best. Talk to you soon. See ya.